Good morning, everyone. Dr. Amber here, clinical psychologist, author of A Parent's Guide to Self-Regulation, mom of two, wife, all the things, living in DC. Just here to chat with you a little bit about how to be thinking about a lack of capacity. And then also, I want to give you 3 strategies for what to do if you are feeling like you have a lack of capacity, especially as a parent. And these strategies that I'm going to give you today are coming from the model of how to approach dysregulation as a parent. That is basically the foundation of my new book, A Parent's Guide to Self-Regulation. Y'all, one day, I'm assuming it'll be March or April, I'm going to actually be on here and then I'm going to get the book and I'm going to hold it up for you because by then it'll be in print. But either way, we are all looking forward to that day. If you haven't already pre-ordered your copy, go to the link in my bio once you're done listening so that you can pre-order your copy. This book is a very practical, hands-on guide that helps any parent who finds themselves feeling dysregulated, having trouble managing their emotions or their feelings, but also just realizing that they want to parent in a different way and maybe they don't have the tools or the strategies to manage their own emotional dysregulation to do so. So this book is for you if you struggle with that. But either way, today let's talk about lack of capacity. So yesterday in my stories, but then also just now, I posted something on the internet, on Instagram, about my own lack of capacity. And this is how it went, you all. I'm going to tell the story just in case you didn't see it. So I bought Elf on the Shelf 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I bought Elf on the Shelf because I saw a lot of people doing it. And I was like, I want to do it too. It looks so fun. It looks so cool. All the cool ideas and the things that they be doing. And the kids are so excited about it. And so I'm like, okay, Elf on the Shelf, let's do it this year. So I told my husband about that. He's like, all right, cool, let's do it. Mind you, I knew that I wasn't going to be like super out there with the ideas. Like, I think sometimes what you see online is like this very like heightened version of what could or needs to be done. So I was gonna definitely take mine down a notch, but I wanted to participate in the fun. So I bought Up on the Shelf. Ended up not ever opening that box because I realized for whatever reason that year, and that was 2022, I just didn't have the capacity to actually execute the thing. Like, I was just be like, okay, I'm gonna open it up today. I'm gonna get it set up. Never did it. And then it just went on and on and on. And I was like, finally, you know what? We're gonna try it again next year because I literally didn't have the time. I didn't feel like I had the energy. I didn't have the capacity. And then when you don't have those things, where's the joy? Because the purpose of the activity for Elf on the Shelf or any other thing like Elf on the Shelf, because y'all, I don't want us to get too hung up on the fact that it's Elf on the Shelf, but anything like that, especially for the holidays and when it's for your kids, there needs to be joy somewhere in it because yes, the joy is for the kids, but if you're not experiencing that as well, then what is the point, right? And so I think that's like message number 1. I think sometimes as parents, we assume that the joy that we want our children to receive as we do anything, whether it's a trip, a vacation, time off with them, an activity, a toy, an event, whatever, an experience, the joy that we are anticipating they will receive trumps any experience that we have as we're also walking through the experience, right? And we don't realize it's like, okay, yes, my children might love this thing that I want to do for them. However, if I'm miserable the whole fucking time, how much joy are they really going to receive? Because again, I think we dismiss and completely undermine the fact that our children are connected to us and they also want us to experience joy because that's how they too feel joy, right? So that's number 1, like, if you're miserable during Elf on the Shelf, during the trip, during the holidays, during the whatever this experience you want them to have, it may not be worth it because they may not enjoy it as much as you think they will. So I realized that year, 2022, look, I just don't have capacity to do this thing. And so I packed it away where we pack all of our holiday things. And I was like, okay, we'll bring it out for 2023. Here comes 2023. My husband goes downstairs. He gets the Christmas things like he always does every year. He's like, look what I found. It's Up on the Shelf. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to do it this year. So I was like, okay, I know I can't do the full 25 days or however long you're supposed to do it. I was like, let's aim for 2 weeks. We'll aim for 2 weeks. So I had my reminder set in my phone. 2 weeks out from Christmas, we'll start it. That 2 weeks rolled around and Elf on the Shelf didn't get started. And I was like, damn, like it's not the week. Maybe we'll knock it down to 10 days. We'll do 10 days, okay? That also rolled around, and I still was very much like, I can't find the energy, can't find the capacity. I don't have the things I need to get this done. And then I was like, okay, we'll do it for a week. We'll do it for a week. I'm gonna start it on Monday. We'll do it for a week. You all, Monday was yesterday. Monday came and has passed, and Elf on the Shelf is still in the box on top of my refrigerator. And it is because, yet again this year, I don't have the capacity to execute this fun, cute activity that I know my kids would love, but that I realize in this moment, in this season, for whatever reason, I don't have capacity, energy, wherewithal to make happen. And so yesterday I finally decided, Amber, you're going to let this go, but you're going to let it go with grace, with forgiveness. And we are not going to internalize this as a failure in any part, because what I came to yesterday and what I actually just shared on my post today, my lack of capacity is not a personal failure. Your lack of capacity in any realm, whether it is with parenting, whether it is with work, whether it is in a relationship, whether it is whatever, your lack of capacity for anything is not a personal failure. And rather, your lack of capacity is just an indication that you're full. You're full. You're full. That's it. Everything gets full, right? Like we get a glass of water, we fill it up. It's full. We can't put more in it. And so me not having the capacity to do Elf on the Shelf this year, I had feelings about it, but then I had to realize, okay, you can have those feelings, but also we have to add on facts to those feelings and realize that this is just an indication that you're full. And I am full, you all. Full in amazing ways. There's so many amazing things I've been working on. I finished my first book. I've been popping on here a little bit more to talk to you all about it. I've been more present with my family. We're in the midst of making sure the holidays are all wrapped up so everything can be good. My mom visited the other week. Like, I'm doing my hair now and it looks great. Like, I'm full. I'm full with many amazing things. And so I had to realize, and this is something I also want you all to realize too, your lack of capacity is not a failure. And what if we look at that as just saying, hey, I'm full. It might be full with some things that maybe we want to get rid of, or it might be full with a lot of amazing things. But if we're only focused on, I couldn't get that other thing done, we'll completely miss the fact that you could be full with really amazing, beautiful things happening, right? My life is full right now with some amazing experiences, amazing moments with my family, some stressful things that I wish weren't there too, but point blank period, I'm at capacity. And so I decided that we will put Elf on the Shelf away again. Maybe 2024 will be the year, but also if it's not, that's okay. We may decide that, hey, we just ain't an Elf on the Shelf family, and I'll just send that thing to Goodwill. Like, that's just what it is. So I hope that resonates for you. Your lack of capacity is not a failure, but let's also talk about, what do you do when you feel like you're running into this wall where you're always at capacity? In my new book, A Parent's Guide to Self-Regulation, I talk about how many times we find ourselves dysregulated for a lot of reasons. But sometimes it's because we are at capacity and we don't really know what to do about it, or we are hitting the wall of capacity and we don't even know that it's happening. We are not aware that the frustration we're feeling, the irritation we're feeling, the desire to completely withdraw and inability to be present with your family that we're experiencing is an indication that maybe we're at capacity in some area of our life and we just haven't addressed it yet. And the issue with that is when you are at capacity for an extended period of time, that then leads you to not be able to regulate your big emotions, regulate the sensations in your body, regulate the wave of experiences that you're going to have with your kids. You can't regulate yourself if you are constantly at capacity and not having addressed it. So let's talk about what do we do when we're at capacity. In my new book, I have three basically a framework. And you all, when you order this book, you'll read all about this framework. It's called the PCR method, and it is a framework with 3 foundations within it that helps to guide you to know, hey, whenever I'm feeling dysregulated, I'm going to look at these 3 methods and decide which one works for me at any given moment. So I'm going to give you a tool from each one so that you can decide in this moment, okay, if I'm at capacity, which one am I going to do? So the first one, let's talk about some practical methods for how we can handle a lack of capacity, right? So with practical, this is probably what you would hear a coach say. This is probably what you might hear a therapist say. We're going to practically look at your life and how it's set up and figure out, okay, in what areas of your life do you feel at capacity and what can we do about it? Sometimes that's hard because you might need an extra set of eyes to look at your life and help you figure out, yeah, girl, this area is not working for you. This area is not working for you. And so enlist the help of a friend, a loved one, someone you trust, your partner, to really look at the things in your life and figure out, okay, where am I at capacity and what can I take off my plate? How can I address this? Because I can't keep going in this way. It's not manageable. It's not sustainable. So that practical method, that practical tool for handling your lack of capacity is really just diving into the areas of your life and figuring out, okay, where do I need to remove something? Where do I need to take something off of my plate? Where do I need to ask for help? Where do I need to hire out some help? Where in my life can I make a small tweak so that I am feeling as if something is being lifted or taken away? That's just practically what we do. In the book, I also have a nice little template that you can use for how to map out the areas in your life and what's going on, and some questions to guide you for that process too. But practical tip number 1, dive into your life and figure out where am I at capacity and what needs to change. Number 2, sometimes we've done the practical and we need something else. We need another layer. So with this tip, it's going to help you to get more conscious and more aware of, okay, what am I actually experiencing and how is that making me feel, right? So when we think about this, let's really dive deeper into the feelings, right? So for me, I realized, okay, I'm struggling with these moments where I'm at capacity because I am interpreting this as a failure. I am walking through my life and being like, ooh, you're not getting this done. Ooh, you're at capacity. Ooh, something's wrong with you. You are failing. And that's a problem because if I'm constantly running into situations where I'm at capacity, which will happen as a parent, but I'm interpreting that as oh, I'm a failure, of course I'm going to feel bad. Of course I'm going to feel dysregulated. Of course I'm going to be frustrated and irritated, and that's going to rub off in my relationship with my children and my family. And so this second step, this second foundation is the conscious approach, and it helps you to really think about, okay, what's going on beyond the content of what's happening in my life, and let's go deeper into, okay, well, what is that making me feel? What's going on up here that's making me not be able to handle what's happening in front of me? And so for you, it could be something different, but for you, I really want you to pay attention to, whenever I have these moments where I am at capacity, what is it making me feel, and what am I telling myself about that experience? It could be that you're telling yourself you're a failure. You could be telling yourself you're not good enough. You could be telling yourself, well, oh, I'm not a good parent because I'm not getting these things done. You could be telling yourself, now people are going to judge me and treat me differently. And when you really stop and consider, well, what are the things that I'm telling myself in this moment about this experience, you start to realize well, oh my gosh, of course my mood is messed up because I'm saying so many really hard, negative, mean things about my life and about myself, and that often are wrong. So for that second approach, I want you to get more conscious and more aware of the emotional experiences that are coming from the challenges you're having, right? Okay. And again, when you order the book, A Parent's Guide to Self-Regulation, these frameworks will be outlined in the book and explained in much more detail for how you navigate each one and the tools that fall within them. Number three, the third foundation, we got to get realistic. Okay, we got to get realistic. And I really wanted to include this type of approach in the book because I think there's something about parenting where it really shakes you and you just have to accept some things even when you don't want to. And so for this approach, it really is called the realistic approach because it's really just how are we going to start accepting some hard truths about our life even when they are not comfortable. And for this situation or this example, the hard truth is that as a parent, you will be at capacity. You will have moments where you're at capacity. It's not realistic for us to expect that we can walk through this experience as parents and not run into those situations where we're like, ooh, I've hit a wall. Ooh, I'm exhausted. Ooh, I have to say no to something because I don't have the energy. Those moments will happen as a parent and just as an adult, period. So if we are not accepting that and we're running away from that or we're pretending like that's not supposed to happen, that's gonna lead you to be upset, frustrated, disappointed, angry, sad, dysregulated because you are not accepting the reality and the real truth of the fact that as a parent, because of the demands and the responsibilities, the obligations that we have to so many entities in our lives, not just our families, there will be a moment where you will not have the capacity to do something. And so the more that we accept those truths, the better we'll be able to navigate it when it comes, right? And so if I'm living my life and I am being realistic, operating in that realistic approach of, hey, there's going to be times where I'm at capacity. When it happens to me, I won't be internalizing it so negatively. It'll probably just be like, oh, I'm at capacity and I knew this was going to happen. So here we are. And now I know what to do about it.